Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the post-show live chat, where we're going to be talking about everything that went down this week on The Bachelorette. Week 2. How's everyone doing tonight? It's me, Bachelor Fan Take, and we're off. We are officially on our way with the first, actual rose ceremony of the season. Men getting eliminated left, right, and center. Surprise! I think the first time we've ever seen, this early of a one-on-one elimination, and with someone who is shaping up to be a fan favorite too. But before we get into more about the episode, got to start the chat off, of course, with the rules of the chat. Number 1, please, no posting any spoilers. Of course, anything sleuthed out, anything from the previews, anything from an official account like Jesse Palmer or any of the contestants I consider totally welcome. Sleuthing, any kind of spoilers coming from there, feel free to post them. Number 2, I'm going to try to respond to any and all questions I see in the chat. Sometimes chat goes pretty fast, so of course super chats will be getting priority. And last but not least, be kind to each other, everyone. And also to anyone who's watching this after the fact, after the live stream, some people say, what's going on here when this pops up on the feed after it's been streamed. This is just going to be a place where we're talking about the show right after it happens and answering questions, leaving comments and that sort of stuff. And we're going to be doing a little bit of sleuthing too. We've got a lot to talk about after that huge preview and after some of the revelations from this episode. We'd already talked about who is it in Rachel's, was it Final Four here? A bunch of these guys. And in the video I had talked about Jordan, but yeah, we can safely X him out of that scenario. And SHM Design, welcome back to the chat. Good to see a familiar face. I'm not watching this season, kind of tired of it all, but watch your recaps to be informed. Hope you're doing well. Always love supporting you. Thank you so much. Thanks for popping in. The recaps are always going to be there if you ever miss a season, if you ever miss an episode, or if later on you find you do get interested. But good to see you. Thanks for popping in, and hope to see you again. And Asia, another familiar face. Great to see you. Thanks for the super chat. I definitely found Chris controlling, and I agree with Rachel and Gabby that no one should be talking about fantasy suites 4 days in, especially when you've got a singing voice like that. Woo! Yeah, Chris not bringing it for the motivational speakers. I think we're 0 for 2 on motivational speakers in the last few seasons. Chris and Carl from Katie's season. He was a swing and a miss. Lasted a little bit longer than Chris, though. Chris, you go nowhere. Good to be rid of him already. But it also opened up the first union leaders of the season. The men who, again, have no chance, really. But got to get their screen time in there somehow, and Quincy taking on that leadership role for this season, taking the Aaron and James role. We sometimes cry about those roles, and why are people doing this? Why are what's the point? But it seems to work. Guys will continue to get screen time and even tickets to paradise, so I can't blame them. And Maria Hernandez, another familiar face. Thank you for the super chat. What I missed most of the episode. Watching baseball with my grandma. Saw some clips. Love Nate. I hated what Chris did to them. You've got a pretty good grasp. Love Nate, hate Chris is a good recap of the episode. But it started with another one of those objectifying dates where the contestants have to wear skimpy outfits, as seen here, bunch of Speedos, and then do a talent for Gabby and Rachel, and then basically they went on a small evening group date with a few of the men that they selected from that group of Speedo guys. And after that, it was a zero gravity date with Rachel and Jordan. You might remember him from night one. He was the guy who had his car out, and then he started talking about horsepower instead of kissing Rachel. Said he was there for Rachel. He got sent home. He seemed like a really sweet guy, though. And then there was Nate and Gabby. And at the rose ceremony, it's hard to remember everyone who, because there were some real no-name guys headed home. I think like Brandon went home. What was his name? The guy Ryan, the guy who who Gabby was like, you write. He had the whiteboard, and she said, you write like a 5-year-old. He suddenly was really into Rachel, and he went home. There were a few other names like Matt and stuff like that. Not very much screen time kind of guys who went home. But how many people went home? I'll give you the official list in the recap tomorrow, because even I can't always keep track of it. But on top of the ones who went home at the rose ceremony, there was Jordan and Chris, who went home before the rose ceremony. So yeah, people are saying six-ish. And that's, I think, for 2 nights, that's not a heck of a lot, actually. I know that it's potentially a lot for one night, one episode, but considering they only sent 3 guys home the first night, not a lot. But yes, we've seen some fan favorites pop out other than Jordan. People are already talking about Nate. Love Nate. Think he's a great guy. I think he's got a genuine feel. He feels genuine to me, which is, like, to me, one of the most important qualities as a viewer. So many times I see contestants on this show, both on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, and I don't know, I just don't feel like this is the real them, or this is like a person I would want to hang out with. I'd want to go to a bar with, or have a conversation with. Nate's a guy I feel that with. I feel like he's someone I'd want to hang out with. And he's doing really well with Gabby. Now, here we've talked about the potential final four of with Gabby. And I've got Nate up in the corner there. It's someone we talked about in the preview breakdown from before. Nate, he's got this shot with Gabby crying. Now, we don't know the context here. We don't know the context at all. But it's so very common to see a heartbreaking breakup right before hometowns, and this is fitting that bill, that narrative for me. A real fan favorite, a sweet person who she's genuinely interested in. Perhaps the crux in the relationship is Gabby's not ready to be a mother. And I think she talked about it this episode, that she was ready to think about it, she was ready to seriously consider it, but she didn't know if she was ready to be a mother. And I think that might be something that we see whenever we get to that point. It's in Europe, we know, and perhaps she just has come to that realization and she's upset, she's shocked. There's also a shot of her with Rachel, and Gabby is getting really upset in the same outfit at the same location, and that could be her having a realization already that she has to break up with Nate. So I think Nate is a no-go, but for sure gotta be for Paradise, right? Gotta be for Paradise. Oh, he will for sure. And other men we've talked about for Gabby's Final Four, in the very top on the right there is Jason. He's already said he's a Gabby guy this episode. And an interesting thing that someone commented on my last video or something like that, not my sleuthing or anything like this. So we also talked about Johnny, and those third and fourth pictures right there above me, where it says hometown. Those are both Johnny, or at least I thought the fourth picture was Johnny. And someone said they recognized the location as the same place where Johnny lives. Someone had said something along the lines of that looks like Palm Beach Gardens or the area, and that's where Johnny is from. So someone commented that, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So Johnny could be another Final Four guy, hometown guy. At least that seems to be how they're doing it. I'm kind of doing the math here. We've got a few hometown possibilities here, as well as endgame in this like tropical location. We've got this. Someone else commented that this is for sure a cenote in Mexico. So Mexico, final area like fantasy suites and onward. It's usually what they do. Fantasy suites in one location to the end. This is with Eric here, and we've seen a few others like this tropical location with Ethan. And which reminds me, there was another comment someone. People are coming out with the sleuthing in the comments, really making me proud. Another, talking about this tropical location area here. Someone had noticed something from the preview that I'd missed, and it's another potential tropical location here, and like we've seen here with Eric, tropical location. This seems to be endgame area. Someone else had noticed because if you're counting up here, we've got Jason, Johnny, Eric, and there's another fourth spot if they are doing hometowns with 4 people, which it's kind of adding up that way, based on the footage we're seeing. Who's this fourth person? This person theorized Ethan. Seen not a heck of a lot of screen time, not in the footage a lot, the preview footage. However, this shot, could it be a tropical location? I mean, theoretically, it could be while they're at Bachelor Mansion still, but we also have the cruise ship shot. And if you see there's a little arrow pointing to someone who looks like Ethan. This is the top 11. So, there you go. And someone said Avon, not Ethan. Avon, yes, he is also going to be in the top 4. We're theorizing here, and with Rachel though. Gabby, however's fourth mystery person. Is it Ethan? Is it Ethan? So, yeah, could Nate possibly be a self-elimination for his daughter? I think that's also very possible. That's a very, very possible thing. I mean, we don't know what the context is going to be for this moment. It absolutely could be him saying he's not ready for Gabby to meet his daughter. Could be him saying something along the lines of, I need to know now that you're ready to be a mother, and it could be a mutual decision too. But ultimately, whatever it is, it seems like he's going home. My initial gut reaction was, because we heard today about Gabby alluding to the fact that she might not be ready, that could be from her not being ready. And realizing that somewhere in Europe, which doesn't have to be right before hometowns, but if you're going, on what they've often done in the past, there's usually a rose dumping from a one-on-one date in the episode before hometowns, like all the time, like 90% of the episodes before hometowns. But hey, this is a rule-breaking season, and we saw that. We saw that this episode with Jordan going home. But yeah, no, there's a lot of sleuthing to be done this season with two leads, 8 potential hometowns, 6 guys in fantasy suites. unless they pull a Hannah Brown. Then it's 8 guys in fantasy suites. But yes, no, that will potentially be a really sad day. The Nate and Gabby breakup. But I thought that I don't know. I was kind of smiling watching them. I thought they were both a little awkward, but in like a cute way. I don't know what everyone else thought. And then we can also talk about Rachel's top 4 guys. And I noticed something here. I'm gonna try to double check this, because we in the preview breakdown we talked about Tino, Zach, Avon, all being men who are like they've been seen in a lot of preview shots. Of course, we had the sleuthing with Zach in his hometown date here, Orange City, which is the fire department there, right next to Anaheim. He's from Anaheim Hills, which is I think just to like right here from Anaheim, something like that, right beside it. So we know he's getting a hometown, but the last spot remained a kind of a mystery for me. I wasn't comfortable making a pick quite yet, because there was really only a little bit of footage of both these men, but now we know Jordan is out, and there's Tyler, right? He talked about in this episode his small business being in on the boardwalk in New Jersey, where he's from. And in the preview breakdown, I had mentioned these 2 shots at the bottom there with Rachel and Tyler in a sort of carnival setting. Is it hometown, maybe? Hometown? In to his shop, whatever it was, his merchandise shop or something like that. Caught my eye. So I'm going to be definitely checking out the background in that Tyler shot, seeing if I can search the boardwalk there and find the exact same, kind of pink rainbow thing, same roller coaster there. See if we can confirm that for sure. But yes, and Asia, thank you again for the super chat. I'm surprised that Mario got a rose. I'll be honest, I was not entirely surprised, but I also wouldn't have been surprised if he didn't get a rose. It was kind of, one of those, like, he got Gabby's first impression rose, so it seemed really hard to imagine him just suddenly being eliminated. But we also know from the previews he's like in nothing. He's in nothing from the preview. He went from first impression rose, no footage in the previews. And the one bit of footage that we saw of Mario in the previews happened this episode. He's doing like a dance. It's like Gabby, Rachel, or something like that. Happened this episode. So it could really easily be him gone next episode. I think I'm expecting that now, unless we can go back into the the Instagram previews that they throw around sometimes on the Bachelorette pages or Bachelor pages and find something. But it ultimately doesn't matter. Next week, the week after, it's one of those that Mario's going home. And Matthew, thank you for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Sorry, late to the game in the chat. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't mean to change the topic from what you are sleuthing, but just wanted to say my family and I are so glad to see you are doing so well. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Yes, it is 2022 has been the year from hell. I was in the hospital. My dog Jackson was in the hospital. Bob, still no Bob cam. He's still recovering. You can't see it in this picture because his cone of shame is blocking it, but he had some surgery on his face. So he had to get something removed, but he's really improving. So I'm really, really relieved about that. I'm improving too. But I'm also not going to dilly-dally in these live streams, unfortunately. We're going to see if at the top of the hour the preview comes out. Give it like maybe 5 minutes to check if the preview comes out. But then I know I gotta get my beauty sleep, my lung resting sleep. For those of you that don't know, yes, I had a bilateral pulmonary embolism in February. Not fun. But I'm okay. I'm getting better now. And if you want to hear more of the full deal on what happened, you can check out the VOD from last week's live stream at the beginning. I talk about it there. Aaron, thank you also for the super chat. Have you watched Joe Millionaire 2022 with the two leads? Do you think it will be similar? So here's I've watched a bit of it. Casually while I was recovering. I dabbled into it. A lot of people had talked about it, had brought it forward to me, said I should watch it. And here's what seems to be happening next week. Based on the preview at the end that we got here. Next week, it looks to be Rachel and Gabby are tired of the men having like this power over them. Who do they want to date? They're tired of wondering if they're crossing a line. They're gonna hurt the other leads' feelings, their friends' feelings, by pursuing someone. They want the men to make a decision. So it looks like at the next rose ceremony they're saying, okay, each of you guys, you need to decide who you're going to be. Then we're not going to worry about any more after that. You are getting a rose from Gabby. You're choosing to accept it. Okay, you're Team Gabby from now on. You're not going to go on any dates with Rachel. You're not going to be pursuing her. You are declaring your focus on one person. And I mean, like, it's a weird thing, because I don't blame, if I was there, and this is only like what the first, we've had 2 rose ceremonies, like 1 actually, but really 2 weeks of the show, and if I was a contestant there, I'd want to have time with both, so I was certain, you don't want to be like going along and wondering, did I make the right decision or anything like that? Or I'm kind of having feelings for the other person. And I think Logan, the chick magnet, he does that halfway through. He looks to be, he chooses Team Gabby, maybe, and then decides he'd rather be with Rachel partway through, based on the season preview. But yes, Bachelor Australia also announced they're going to have 3 leads. Yes, that is true. They always got to one up the American. Let me see if I can find it here. The photo, it looks like 3 very sort of different guys, kind of different ages, different styles. Here they are. The three bachelors for Bachelor Australia. And then next year we're going to see 4 bachelors in the American version, and better yet, they're going to go for ultimate chaos. So it's going to be, they're going to bring back Juan Pablo, Peter, Ari, and Clayton. 4 bachelors. The worst of the worst, they're going to call it. Ultimate chaos. That's, there's drama only season. So that's what I'm crossing my fingers for. So, yeah, and Andrew here is saying, do you think Logan saying he still has feelings on the other side could mean somebody back home? Theoretically possible. I did comment in the preview breakdown that it did sound weird saying like the other side. Like, what are they doing? Are they separating the men? Like, you get a different compound you're going to live at once you choose what side you're on. Like, you don't get to interact with any of the other men. You have to, climb the wall and live on the other side. So, I did think it was a bit weird that, to me, the other side did sound like something you'd say if if you like the other side, meaning the other side of the Bachelor world, outside of filming. But I don't know. I'm kind of now swinging back to the original theory that it's the simplest theory is that he's talking about the other Bachelorette. Yes, no. Clayton will be the Bachelor, and Ari will be the Bachelor. They are still together with Lauren and Susie, but hey, when the producers are calling, it's hard to ignore that call. So, and who do I think will be the Bachelor? I think it's a little too early to tell. Wild theory though. Wild theory that does have a basis, but don't expect it to be true. Zach will be the next Bachelor. We'll see. In the I think there was something in the Jesse Palmer's Meet the Men live stream, something like that, where he talked about Zach, like he has friends from the show, like friends from past seasons. He's friends with past contestants, and I know, and it's like makes me think he's a company guy. He's in with the group, with the production. So, and he looks to be going far. So if he does not win Rachel's heart. Rachel's heart? That's it. Yes, Rachel's heart. Who's dating who again? Tino wins, or Avon wins, but I think Tino more likely than Avon. Maybe they go for the company guy, the guy who they knows the deal, makes it far. That's my theory based off of very little information. Very, very little information. But you never know. It could be any of these men, I think. They're usually the front runners, these guys, the ones who make it far. Make it to the top 4. But obviously we've seen before. We've seen this man make it to top 8, top 10 or something like that, and become the Bachelor. Katie Thurston, top 11 or 12, something like that. Became the lead. So it's possible, very possible, that someone from outside this group here and here we'll cross off all the men who have no screen time whatsoever. But remember we talked this fan theory that I think is possible. Not 100% sure, but I think there's evidence, that's pretty compelling evidence that Ethan could be also in Gabby's top 4, top 3. Top 3 it would have to be if this was a part of this tropical setting. I thought it was an interesting comment someone made on my last video. So we'll see. But yeah, and there's people that are talking about Bachelor in Paradise as well. And it could be someone from Bachelor in Paradise. Gets a really good edit, goes far, and the Nick Viall edit is in a relationship near the end, breaks up, becomes the Bachelor. So yes, and someone said, is all the footage of Jason from one date? There is a lot that's mostly from one date. However, narrowing it down, other than outside of Jason, is very difficult. Like, you compare some of the guys who are left, who have footage, presence in the previews, edit. Jason also, I think he's got a pretty good edit going for him so far. Not too strong, not too, but not not there, And you compare to some of the other Gabby guys like Johnny and Eric. I mean, you could absolutely say that Eric is Gabby's final pick. I would not blame you for that. The things that scare me away, these shots here, of Eric and Gabby. There's a lot of Eric and Gabby animosity sort of in the previews. But again, this could be a red herring too. This could all be a red herring. There were a couple of things where they threw out some negative stuff and cut to Eric. Seems like placed on purpose maybe in the preview. So I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, no, Johnny doesn't seem like a strong pick as of yet. So I wouldn't feel comfortable with him saying he's the pick. So it leaves Eric and kind of Jason. That's it. So I also didn't feel comfortable with Eric, so I went Jason. That's sort of my thought process on this. Ultimately at the end of the day with these final picks, we're really just trying to narrow it down to 2 people, maybe if we can, 3, and then going for our guts after that. Because unless you have like a shot in the preview of someone getting down on one knee, which happens in Paradise. You all see all the time in the previews where they pop out the ring and you go, oh, that looks like this person's hand, or that person is wearing a bracelet that we've seen before. Then you go, okay, here we go. But we don't get that in these main seasons, these flagship seasons, The Bachelor and Bachelorette. So we kind of just have to go off of our guts from there. Try to interpret night 1 edits as best as we can, but also there's there's a I think a theory I saw, someone posted it to me from, and it was Bachelor Data who talked about it. There's something in every night 1 they have like a conversation. The person that is picked and the lead have a conversation that's highlighted every time in a night 1 episode, and we know Tino had that with Rachel. However, this is a season where for the first time we have 2 leads, too many guys, too many leads, and kind of this second episode was sort of a night 1 part 2 in a few ways. Because a lot of these guys, they didn't get their time, and that's why they said, okay, I'm sorry to everyone except for the twins and Roby. You're hard nosed. You're gonna go, but to everyone else, sorry we didn't get to come around to you. So, we'll get there night 2 or week 2, and so that's how it's that's sort of how I've perceived this second episode. For parts of it, except, of course, the one-on-ones. So, Meatball, maybe? Yes, Meatball. Meatball going far. Hey, this it kills me every time this guy comes up. How do you take him seriously? Does he think he's gonna be at the end there, and one of them's gonna say, like Gabby's gonna say, Meatball, will you accept my final rose? Do we think that's gonna happen? Yes, maybe Ethan is Gabby's sleeper because I thought for sure he was going home tonight. Yeah, I mean, again, I think he's he's in the shot. I know this cruise ship shot is very it's hard to tell some of the guys. There's like a few recognizable guys, and then there's like a bunch of like white dudes with dark hair, and it's hard to pinpoint some of them. I wondered if a few others, like in the corner there. I mean, we know Tino makes it far, but like check out in the top left corner here, Tino's jacket. Then check out this shot, far left, opposite of my head. The guy his head is kind of blocked by someone else doing this, and and I think same jacket. I was looking over some of the footage, and I wondered that. So there you go. It's hard to tell, but you can figure out some things. Yeah, they need 2 group dates a week and 2 one-on-ones. Yeah, we'll see what they do when they get to they actually get to splitting up the dudes. But that's a lot. They normally have 3 dates an episode, and that's that. So and then then they're gonna have to fit in a rose ceremony and everything. So how are they gonna do that? Do they have enough time? A 3-hour episode? Please no. Jason's still private on Instagram, so not sure what that means. Thoughts? I know there are people who are they are really savants at the Instagram sleuthing. Some of the things people do is incredible. Checking Venmo purchases, locations and things like that. The Instagram stuff is a little bit beyond me. I think it's just also a little too overwhelming. I like to focus on the preview, so I don't know if there's a precedent for something like that. Has that been done before? Does that ever mean something when someone's private that late? I would imagine. I mean, you might think that he doesn't want to be seen or something, but also I could definitely see myself. If it wasn't about gaining the most followers humanly possible and gaining traction in a season, and I just wanted to be away from the noise, turning things private, not having people message me, and because people can be savage, and who's to say he knows that he's gonna get those followers anyways, because he's going to be the next Clayton and Susie, or he's going to be the next Greg Grippo, and he's trying to avoid that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure, I guess, is my answer, but that's the kind of thought process rambling I've gone off of now. Yes, someone's saying this might be a European cruise. Absolutely is. And I talk about that in my preview breakdown. Because the name of this is a Virgin, the Valiant Lady cruise ship, and we can find it here. Let me just get it going on this other monitor here. They've got the Virgin cruise ships, and here's the Valiant Lady. This is the ship they're going to be on. In the preview, they show that you can see the name of the ship, and of course, it says in the summers it goes through the Mediterranean. So to me, it makes sense that they would, go port to port. We know they go to France, and we know they go to the Netherlands. So, and maybe more places. So, and they want to sign me up for another for a round here. I wonder if they'll upcharge, they'll have stay in the room that Gabby and Rachel stayed in. Probably, almost certainly. But I'm sure the cruise ship industry is hurting still, so they're trying to get people on. But the Valiant Lady, yes, and they've got the Scarlet Lady and the Resilient Lady and the Brilliant Lady, the Resilient and the Brilliant Lady. Those are the names of all their ships, and the Titanic. No. Yeah, they know I'm a cruise guy. Yeah, I used to go on. That was my mom and dad were big cruisers, and it would be like a summer vacation, or in Canada we have March break, not spring break. It's the same thing, but it's just, different time. Because also, I went to school in the States and in Canada, and the start times are different. Like, I know when I was in the States, it would be back to school in August, and in Canada, it's back to school in September. So there's like a month difference there for the break. So there we go. Well, we'll be able to sleuth out as much as we can. I'm gonna check every so often now. Now that we're getting close to the top of the hour, on. Oh, we've got it already. I think we've got it. It's already up. It's a miracle. In the past, I would never expected this early. Uploaded on YouTube. Because they used to be like at 11 o'clock on the dot they would post the preview for next week. So let's get into to do a little bit of live sleuthing for next week's episode. And reminder, this is just like first impression, off the cuff sleuthing. A lot could change. We're going to be looking into these previews, into these shots in more detail over the course of the next couple of days. And making sure we get all the details correct. So, but here's going to be the first impression for next week on the Bachelorette. Let's whip out the old big headphones, and we can check it out. It's already up on YouTube. Let's take a look.
Next week on The Bachelorette.
Ready for my close-up.
Gabby and I want to feel chosen.
YouTube's gonna get mad at me.
Smile melts my heart.
I like how they've get this like Adam and Eve nudity thing for, what is it, Jacob, and then Nate. They already know Nate's like a fan favorite already. They watch that date, and so they give him the proposal, the nice suit. And there's, you can spot Rachel's helping out with the with the lighting. I wonder if it's, I'm hoping we're gonna see the same guy who does every Bachelor. I can't remember his name, but you know him when you see him. He does all the photo shoots for the Bachelor world. But yes, we got dates. You can see some of the guys in the behind. It looks like Logan here. We got Tino. I think it's is that Avon there? A few others. Alec. So we know they're not getting one-on-ones. I think they show the one-on-ones too, but hey.
My heart.
Oh, right now I feel so loved and
Eric,
seen.
so
It's really such a good feeling.
Quincy.
Have you got a date for me?
Grandpa John. Of course. So Grandpa John's coming on the. We've seen them in these outfits at this sort of bowling alley date before. We saw it in the previews. Grandpa John's coming in early. They know what we want. They know we need some Grandpa John in our life. But yes, so Eric looks to be getting a one-on-one, a two-on-one with Gabby and Grandpa John. So we'll see. Eric, he got a bit of a weird night one edit. In my opinion, but playing, kind of spoiler for the first impression rose, but we'll see how he does this time, because that could change things.
This is all about finding love.
There's Zach.
I
Is
feel
the
like I'm
other
gonna remember this for the rest of my life.
the other one-on-one for the week. A shot we saw before. I was wondering what was going on. They have a movie poster in the background. It's like You and Me or something. Me with You, or I can't remember what it is. I'll show it in the preview breakdown. But I was wondering if that was an actual movie or something like that. Might be indicative of who's on the date or what kind of date they're doing. Maybe there's a movie coming out, But we'll see. But Zach again, two guys who we've talked about with strange kind of things going on, potential edits and maybe business at the end. Zach with this thing with Jesse Palmer, saying I have to come clean to this person, likely Rachel, and this stuff with Eric. So both of them though getting one-on-ones next week. So
It just feels like a really beautiful start to what could be something really amazing.
So before we had talked about in the previews, there's grocery store Hayden, dollar store Joe. Looks like, I don't know, from the this is him choosing Rachel. By the way, we've seen in the previews he sits down with Gabby in this outfit and he says, I'm choosing Rachel. So like I said before, at the rose ceremony, looks to be they're going to be making that decision. Which team are you on? And that's it. So he's decided on Rachel, and that's what's happened here. But here we've got this this SoFi Stadium date. Very possible that because I'm wondering, okay, we've already got a one-on-one with Zach. Now we've got this footage as well. Maybe we've seen Tino on this date with Rachel, so it's possible that during this photo shoot, each of the women get a couple of guys to take out, the guys who did the best on their group date, and maybe Rachel chooses Avon and Tino, and so that's what we've got going here. Theoretically.
If you were the only person here, I don't think I could have the heart to continue.
I don't want a woman like you. It hurts to hear.
So another conversation that looks to be again stemming from this who you gonna choose? Who you gonna choose? And Jacob going, if it was whatever it was, if you were the only person here, I don't think I could have the heart to continue. I guess he's talking to the person he's not going to be siding with. So, and again, we don't know if Gabby here is upset about Jacob. Could be something completely different.
It hurts to hear.
Like, because there's two of us, I think they can act that way.
Now, interesting, because the outfits that they're in here. So Gabby in her outfit from before, where she's upset, same haircut. Rachel here. So it is possible that this is a 2-on-2 as well. A theory that just popped into my mind is that this is a 2-on-2 where Avon and Tino are invited, but both Avon and Tino want to be with Rachel, and maybe this is that. I don't know. It seems pretty sketchy though. I don't want a woman like you. It hurts for one of them to say that to her. So let's keep our guard up. There it could be a 4-on-2. these numbers are getting, these 2-on-2, 4-on-2. It's getting ridiculous. But it's the same date, so we know Gabby's there as well on this football stadium date. Interesting.
I don't know if I have the capacity to keep doing this like week after week.
But you accept this rose?
And this is the rose ceremony.
Dude, the girls just walked out.
Upset about something, and they could be. This could be some fancy editing too. We don't know the entire context, but rose ceremony. Here it is. Make your decision, boys. And we know that like Meatball, Alec, and one other guy like Nathaniel or something like that. Another guy with very little screen time. Choose Gabby over Rachel from the previews.
Right now.
I want to know what the hell happened.
This whole thing, it's just not working for me.
That's bad. That's really bad.
I'm leaving. I'm literally quitting.
There's the end of the preview. So yes, I'd say I'm leaving. But her being upset here, whatever the context is. I mean, we don't know if this is the words she's saying in this moment, and they just superimpose it on to make it more dramatic. But either way, if Rachel is getting upset here, she's got pretty good reason, and it's going to be because she gets rejected at least 3 times by the men. But yeah, Jesse Palmer coming and say this isn't working for them is the basis of my theory about this is the rose ceremony where they decide, make your choice. So there you go. There's the preview. Pretty out in good time. Thank you, Bachelor producers, for getting that out in good time. I really appreciated it because we are going to be coming to the end of the stream now. It's the end of the hour, just about, and you know, I gotta rest. I still am recovering as much as I'm, you know, back into the swing of things. I gotta keep it going easy, and we got to get up early, nice and early, to get to video editing, get to the recap tomorrow, get that out in good time for everybody and for my, you know, own sanity. So thank you for everyone who's watched tonight, chatted tonight, people who didn't chat, people who just lurked and listened, people watching on the VODs. Thank you to Think Story for modding, and everyone who's super chatted. I really appreciate it. It's going to be an interesting season ahead with new rules, new sleuthing. It's kind of fun for me. I don't know how it is for the average viewer. I was thinking, because you know, the new rules, the change up and stuff. It's fun for me. You know, with the focus being on sleuthing. But thank you all for joining me. Have a great rest of your night and day tomorrow. And until next time, Bachelor Fan Take out.